Yo, this is Firstborn, another Dark Christ memoir. The topic for the moment right now is the hypersexualization of black women. Growing up, that's always been, relationships has always been a topic of study for me. Always. I've always been interested in how people interact. And when I started to get older, especially like in high school, I really started to study the patterns of black women. I started studying how they interacted in high school, and then I said, yo, if they act a certain way in high school, it's a learned pattern. They didn't just learn to do that. Of course, I know society played its role in social relationships, but I said a large part of this has to come from their parents. So I started to study older women and older black women, and I started to study the patterns of men that I would see women allow into their life and attach themselves to. Now, not to generalize, but really to generalize, I started to see women always connecting to men who never really wanted to be with them long term, but wanted booty. But would stay with them as long as they could get enough booty that they wanted. Or once they got enough booty, they would leave, and I would see the women in a cycle of hurt, of attracting men searching for booty and men who had no capability or desire of wanting a committed and long-term relationship. And so when I looked at that all the way up into college, I started to understand something. Because there was a point I used to be just frustrated with black women. And I realized, no, that's not the case. Black women are seeking what they have been programmed to seek. That's pure and simple it. And how black women generally are programmed is to view themselves from a hypersexual perspective. Why is that done? It's because that's what men wanted to be done. Men project reality, women cultivate it. So whatever men largely put out is what women are going to cultivate. And what men have put out, all you got to do is turn the TV on. I mean, they got vegetarian commercials with women holding cucumbers looking like penises. Everything is hypersexualized, and it's used with images of women so that men are safe to view women as sexual objects, and women are now conditioned to subconsciously accept themselves as sexualized objects. So I wanted to really talk about this, and I think this is going to have to be a serious thing, about the whole issue of the hypersexualized black female. Because this is a process that did not just start in the past 50 years. These type of processes don't set in unless they are developed for actually a matter of centuries. So they begin largely with the break from the African continent. And from that point on, the dehumanization of our culture happened for a reason, in order for us to fit the mold of the dominant culture that brought us here for the purpose of us fitting the mold of doing what they wish us to do. So in that, a part of that role for black women was to turn them into hypersexualized creatures to view themselves only as sexual. Now we got to understand something. This process was being resisted by black males and black females for centuries as well, but a repetitive onslaught on the common consciousness of people can only withstand so much before it begins to internalize what's being done. And not only that, we have to understand that the soul crushing that happened with black males, they internalize the same thoughts of hypersexualization of women that those who brought us here had of those women themselves. So yes, black males have internalized it now as well. So we've internalized it, we project it, it's all black women have to cultivate, so now they internalize it and they become it. So this is what happens now. I remember standing outside of USC and I was with a group of guys, I was like, look, yo, there's only a small number of females who even have the capability to exist even to some marginal degree outside of this hypersexualization, because it's in the atmosphere. So
when I'm talking about that, we're talking about something that is widespread. It is very widespread, and there are very few who can even come to a degree of seeing outside of it. But when we look at the patterns, because people always blame black women for the pattern of picking bad dudes, but it is the conditioning that one has to first become aware of before they even have a snowball chance in hell of reversing. But I promise you it is reversible. And in part two, I want to deal with the purpose of why the hypersexualization was allowed to happen, and then begin to go into how the hypersexualization of the subconscious mind of black females is reversible, and how it can be reversed, and how it is actually in the process of being reversed right now. This is Firstborn, another Dark Christ memoir. I'll holler at y'all on part two. Peace.